The wildlife trade is the buying and selling of wild animals and plant resources, including importing, exporting, and re-exporting live or raw or finished products made from them. It includes the trade in timber for our houses and furniture, and animals and plants which are used for food and in some medicines. Wild animals are also popular as pets and trophies, or may form part of a collection. The wildlife trade is worth hundreds of billions of dollars each year. Whilst most wildlife trade is legal, a significant proportion is not. It involves vast numbers of wild animals and plants. It robs communities of their natural resources and potential benefits from tourism. It threatens national security and stability through armed gangs, poachers, and illegal hunters that participate in the trade, causes damage to the environment, and can have an impact on global health through the spread of diseases. Aviation provides a safe, convenient, and affordable method of travel for billions of people every year. Traffickers try to exploit the increasing connectivity and efficiency of our network. Traffickers adapt, regularly changing their routes to avoid detection, making airports in any region and at any size vulnerable to wildlife trafficking. Wildlife trafficking creates risks for the industry, including health and safety risks to passengers and staff, as trafficked wildlife can carry disease, may be venomous, or cause injury if it tries to escape. Reputational risks from negative press and reports, economic risks from loss of nature-based tourism, and diminished operational efficiency. Wildlife is smuggled through airports on passengers, in their baggage, as cargo, and by post. Wildlife smuggled by individual passengers is generally carried in fairly small quantities. This is usually high in value and delicate. Some traffickers have been caught concealing wildlife under their clothing. Bird eggs may be hidden in specially designed t-shirts, hidden under a baggy shirt, in underwear, or secured into pantyhose, which is then tied around the body. Passengers have also been apprehended with wildlife hidden in their carry-on baggage. One of the best-known examples was a woman traveling to Iran with a drugged tiger cub in her bag.
Without further ado, let's moving on to the three main questions that needed to be answered about this issues.
For the first question is, which Sustainable Development Goals, SDG, are related/relevant to the issue? So, the answer is SDG 15, which represents Sustainable Development Goal 15. The objectives of SDG 15 are preoccupied with the aspect of life on land, protecting, restoring, and promoting the sustainable use of terrestrial ecosystems, managing forests sustainably, combating desertification, halting and reversing land degradation, and halting biodiversity loss. SDG 15 related to wildlife trafficking. Wildlife trafficking threatens biodiversity and disrupts ecosystems, making it crucial to address this goal. By combating wildlife trafficking, we contribute to preserving life on land and maintaining the balance of ecosystems. For the second SDG is SDG 16. SDG 16 stands for Peace, Justice, and Strong Institutions. By reducing violence is one of the ways that SDG 16 addresses wildlife trafficking. This is because poaching and the illegal trade in protected species are related to wildlife trafficking, which is frequently associated with organized crime and can result in violence. SDG 16 attempts to improve the safety of communities impacted by wildlife trafficking by minimizing all forms of violence. Ensuring the effectiveness of wildlife trafficking efforts and their alignment with wider objectives of promoting peace, justice, and robust institutions is facilitated by this measure. Moving on to the next question is, which existing Malaysian policies are relevant to manage the issue? Malaysia implements many strategies to effectively regulate the illegal trade of wildlife. The policies are as follows: the Wildlife Conservation Act 2010, Act 716. Malaysia's Wildlife Conservation Act 2010, Act 716, stands as a crucial legal bulwark against the destructive tide of wildlife trafficking. It establishes a comprehensive framework for protecting the nation's diverse species, wielding the threat of stiff penalties against those who engage in illicit trade and poaching. For those who dare to exploit these vulnerable animals, the Act prescribes hefty fines of up to Rm 1 million and potentially lengthy prison sentences, aiming to deter any involvement in this destructive activity. The second policies are, the National Policy on Biological Diversity strives to protect Malaysia's biological diversity and promote its sustainable use, while ensuring fair distribution of the benefits derived from its usage. Take as an example, the establishment of protected areas such as national parks, wildlife reserves, and forest reserves to conserve biodiversity and ecosystems. These protected areas also provide opportunities for sustainable use of natural resources such as ecotourism and research. Now, for the last question is, how do the related SDG and policies play their role in managing the selected issue? The reason behind this is because it's raising global framework and awareness. For example, Wildlife Conservation Act 2010. This national law establishes a legal framework for wildlife protection in Malaysia, criminalizing poaching and illegal wildlife trade. Through SDG 15, it defines protected species, sets penalties for wildlife-related offenses, and empowers enforcement agencies. For second policies is National Policy on Biological Diversity, this policy aligns with SDG 15 by aiming to conserve Malaysia's biodiversity and promote its sustainable use. It emphasizes the value of biodiversity for ecosystem services and livelihoods, encouraging measures to mitigate threats like wildlife trafficking.